Frey, owner of TalentQ and expert recruiter. I come to you with over 20 years of recruiting experience. Recruiting is my passion. I love serving people. I jump out of bed every day, get to do what I love. Most companies are struggling to hire people. We uncover invisible talent that no one else can find, which ensures your team is fully staffed and thriving. Recruiters are all the same, right? Wrong. I spent 7 years of my career recruiting for Target Corporation, which helps me understand what my clients go through in their businesses. That's our special sauce at TalentQ. We also make some mind-blowing commitments to the companies we work with. We present qualified candidates within 10 days. We recruit until the position is filled, and we communicate the truth throughout. And most don't believe we can do it, but we've been doing it over and over and over for nearly 10 years. Now, outside of my career, I'm married to the love of my life, Dustin, who supports me like no other. I'm a taxi cab driver for 2 active daughters. Thank God I love driving cars, and I even love watching Formula One racing. My family loves to travel and experience new cultures and adventures. And in the summers, you'll find me on the St. Croix River in Wisconsin. Cheers.
So I've been recruiting for over 2 decades. I've been so fortunate to have found this profession 2 years after I graduated from college. And now you can all figure out how old I am probably. But I cut my teeth at third-party recruiting firms. And when I was working there, I had this fire in my belly because I knew I was an entrepreneur and I decided I wanted to own my recruiting firm. But I knew I was going to do it a different way. And I had to set myself apart because we all know, you're all in HR, recruiting firms are a dime a dozen. So I figured out how I could get an edge. And I decided I had to go work at a corporation. I had to be a corporate recruiter to understand what my clients were going through, to relate to them better, and to provide superior service that would really, truly set us apart. So I went to work at Target Corporation. My plan at the time was to only stay for 5 years. Well, it kind of ended up a little bit longer. I was there for 7, but I saw that entire company from the inside and out. I recruited for all 14 headquarter pyramids. I recruited for stores leadership in the field and distribution leadership in the field. I was on what they used to call the SWAT team. So we were the expert recruiters, and they would plug and play us to fill the most difficult to fill positions or where there was really high volume. And we'd have to sit sometimes and train a recruiter that was responsible for that area as well. But it was a phenomenal chance for me to see a Fortune 30 company inside and out. And so then early on in 2015, I opened TalentQ, and there's a photo of my office in the middle. That's my office that I'm in right now. You can see the background. We're in downtown Hudson. And shortly after, I wrote a book for job seekers called I Hate Mondays. And the funny thing is when I was working with my editor, Amanda, we were chatting about coming up with the title. And she's like, we got to come up with a title for this book, Renee. And I was like, how are we going to do that? She just started asking me questions. And then it came out. I told her, I said, yeah, I used to joke all the time at Target because it was professional dress at Target. That was the dress code. So you had to wear suits. And I always joked that I was going to have a t-shirt made that said, I hate Mondays. And I was going to like open up my blazer, right? Well, I never did that, but that's how we named the title of the book. So crazy, right? And I do have a video podcast called Careers and Cocktails. We have listeners all across the globe. We mix up the guest's favorite cocktail, and then we jump right into questions, providing loads of career tips and job searching value to our listeners. That was a tongue twister. And at TalentQ, we're also a one-stop shop for job seekers too. So I've been designated as a career coach and resume expert by LinkedIn. And we also have digital e-learning courses. Interview like a pro, negotiate salaries, and more. And we're expanding our courses every single day. At TalentQ, we are fortunate enough to support companies all across the nation. I'm sure you recognize some of these huge brands. And what makes us unique is we present qualified candidates in 10 days. We commit to recruit until the hire is made, and we communicate the truth throughout. All right. I want everyone to read this quote on the screen. So it says, 52% of job seekers say the quality of a job description is very or extremely influential in their decision to apply. That's from an Indeed survey. So that's about half of the people out there looking at your job posting. So we need to have job descriptions that are compelling so that people will apply. Think of your job description as an advertisement. Instead of getting someone to buy something, we need to get them to apply to your job. So let's talk about what the purpose of a job description is. It summarizes essential responsibilities, qualifications, skills needed for the role. The job description also describes the type of work performed. Many descriptions include company details such as the company mission, benefits. They may include who it reports to and the salary range. Certain states like Colorado require you to post the salary range in the job posting. But all that sounds so boring, right? Boring. So we got to think of job descriptions as a marketing tool. So let's make your job description a magnet for applicants. And how do we add juice to our job descriptions to attract more people to apply? First, it starts with the language used and how it's written. Most job descriptions aren't written by the people that do the work. So perhaps we should ask the people that are sitting in those jobs to explain the responsibilities of the job. And I'm sure that would improve our descriptions. And at least it would be a good first step. And now, the world has certainly changed. I never expected to have to implement a pandemic and a riot plan for my small business, right? It's been a crazy couple of years. But with all of these events that we've experienced recently, there's a lot to take in, and companies need to make adjustments to make sure the company is highlighting its employment branding through their job descriptions that address these topics. And diversity and inclusion is a hot topic. So when companies make a statement that they are committed to diversity and inclusion, 48% of job seekers are more likely to apply to those companies. And companies can go even one step further if they offer inclusion and diversity training programs for their employees as well. Companies need to walk the walk and talk the talk, not just make a statement on their website. It actually has to be an integral component of the company culture. So we all have unconscious biases that influence our decisions, right? So one example is the halo effect. So if we think someone is good looking, we may also believe they're smart and charismatic. So in this case, we would need to be aware that we're not basing a decision based on the appearance of someone, right? And gender bias is another unconscious bias that exists. A female may be perceived as aggressive, while her male counterpart may be described as confident. And these biases and terms may appear in job descriptions. So to be relevant, it's best to make sure that the verbiage used in job descriptions at your company are gender neutral. So if your job description says work hard, play hard, that may skew to attract younger, more new college grads to apply or young people to apply to your roles. Words like ambitious, assertive, or strong, those tend to skew masculine. So more inclusive words would be like trustworthy, curious, resilient. So really think about the language used in your job descriptions. Now let's talk about creating a job title that is specific. So we all work for different companies and we all have different titling nomenclature that's internal to our companies, right? That might not make sense to the outside world. So if your job internally is human resources generalist with the Roman numerals equaling 6, just advertise it as a senior human resources generalist, because every company has their own internal job titles, right? They have pay ranges and pay bands that are allocated to those levels. But let's make the title make sense to people on the outside, because we need to make sure you're going to attract the right people. So having the title as senior human resources generalist resonates better than human resources generalist 6, Roman numeral 6. Now, under most state and federal laws, job descriptions are not legally required. However, having a custom job description in place can provide valuable legal protections to an employer, as well as ensure that employees understand the responsibilities expected of them in their position. All right, let's move on to using a job summary as a hook. So just like recruiters and hiring leaders, how many of you have heard they only look at the top quarter of your resume and in 7 seconds, they're determining if they're reading on the rest of the resume? Same thing with the job description. If you need to hook that reader in that job summary, so they want to read more and read the whole job description and be so interested that they apply for the job. So I'm going to share verbally a sexy job summary that we came up with for one of our clients. So it says, our client, a bold and innovative brand, is making waves in the automotive industry with their game-changing technology. Join a collaborative organization that values the entrepreneurial spirit of their team and encourages employees to take ownership of both their projects and careers. Who doesn't want to work for this company, right? It's a great hook to hook them in to then want to read more to the job responsibilities. Now, we also have to put on the job description what's in it for them. Candidates want to know what's in it for them. They want to know, why is the job cool? Why is the company cool to work for? You could describe things like special perks and benefits that your company has. You got to showcase all the awesome things that you have. Some companies we work with have happy hour Fridays paid, or free snacks all day, paid medical and dental, or maybe your company has competitive medical, dental, and vision coverage. I know some companies offer a $50 DoorDash gift card a month, or you could highlight things of your culture like collaborative, casual, fun workplace, generous paid time off. You could put your 401k in the actual match that you give, or highlight the company equity if people are given equity. Also highlight if there's paid internet, if you have paid cell phone service, if there's paid fitness expenses, or if you provide money for caregiver support. All of these things that make your company unique should be on that job description to attract more applicants. All right. So I actually, for those of you that just have audio, I apologize. I actually pulled a job description off the web. So it's got some great attributes, but I think it can really use some improvement. So we're going to actually dive into this job description, and I'm going to share with you the recommended changes that I would make. Okay. So let's start with the job summary. There is no juice in that summary. It is void of excitement. And we can make it super exciting because this is the sexy hook to hook that reader in to want to read the job description, right? So read it again. This role will be responsible, boring. Here's how I changed it. So if you can read, I changed it to, this phenomenal role will be responsible for recruiting our future leaders from campuses across the country. We have an excellent intern program created just for new college grads. You'll be the point person, developing excellent relationships with universities. Come be a part of our growing team to attract our future talent. Doesn't that sound awesome? And it was super quick, right? I just added a little bit of juice and now it sounds exciting and there's some emotion to it. All right, we're going to go to the next step. So the primary responsibilities, kind of, boring. And so the first bullet, build and develop relationships and partnerships with colleges and universities. What I've changed that to is build and develop superior relationships with university partners. And then the second bullet, assist in the development of campus recruiting strategy. I changed that to be a part of creating a comprehensive campus recruiting strategy. Sounds more exciting, right? And then the next bullet, execute, attend, and coordinate university recruitment events at college career fairs, virtual hiring events, and other on-campus recruiting events to drive engagement and employer brand awareness. I shortened this and changed it to promote our employment brand and drive engagement at university recruiting events such as college fairs and virtual hiring events. And then the next one, conduct initial interviews, phone and in person, and facilitate interview process. What I changed that to was qualify candidates through interviews via phone and in person and facilitate the total interview process. So these are just minor little changes, right? And then let's cover the next one, drive the conversion of high-performing interns to full-time employees upon graduation. I changed that to drive the conversion. Oh no, that one I left the same. The last one, maintain ongoing relationships with management trainee alumni. I changed that to stay connected with management trainee alumni and their careers. And then what I did was I changed the header. So this says primary responsibilities. Here's what I changed it to, what you'll do, because right, it's all about them. What you'll do makes it extremely clear. And that's how I changed the primary responsibilities section for this particular job. All right, we are going to move on to the qualifications. So here are the qualifications in the original job description. They bulleted out education separately from experience. Now, this stuff, I changed the header of qualifications to what you need to bring to the table. It just makes it super clear. And I also combined the education and experience section together because they're minimum qualifications. And these I wouldn't mess around with, because if you are a government contractor, if your company does business with the government, there's certain OCCFP things you have to follow, all that stuff. So really the minimum requirements, I would leave that the same, but I would certainly just add the education and the experience together. Next, we're moving on. So this was the bottom of their job description and there wasn't a header. It just said, join the OD family today. Okay. And they actually have a really cool perk, birthday holiday. We have that too at TalentQ. I love that. Everyone at TalentQ gets their birthday off, but let me show you how I've changed it. So what I changed it, I actually put a header and I put what's in it for you, because then they know what's in it for you. Okay. Everyone wants to know that when it pertains to a new job. What's in it for me? So I rearranged these things. I pulled that birthday holiday from the last thing that they had on the list. I pulled that to the top. That's a unique perk. That's awesome. And then they had a boring statement of vacation and holiday pay. I put generous vacation and holiday pay. It's just these little tweaks. Now, if your vacation and holiday pay isn't generous, maybe you don't want to have that on the list. But, and I also added competitive to their health and dental benefits. Because if you just say health and dental and vision benefits, that sounds boring. But if they're competitive, they might be like, oh, it might attract someone, right? And then they have wellness program, which made me wonder, depending on what they have in that wellness program, they might want to pull out some of those details and highlight those and share, because there might be certain things in the wellness program that might attract people. Like I know my husband's company, I think if you commit to a certain number of steps or exercise, you actually get money back. So if that was part of that, I would pull that out. So be very specific in what's in it for them.
If you're struggling to find talent in this market, I'm here to help. My passion is to share my expertise with as many people as possible. What we do is jump on a quick call where you can share the roadblocks you're having with hiring. I then provide quick solutions you can take action on immediately. I promise there are no strings attached. Click the link to schedule right on my calendar so you can learn something that will help you jump over those roadblocks. Cheers!